everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Danny.
I'm John.
And this is our Charmed Midlife.
It sure is.
And we just finished the movie Nonnas. The new movie on Netflix that came out today. Today, May 9th.
Right to it.
So, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
The movie Nonnas is PG. It's 1 hour and 51 minutes long. And the write-up is as follows. After losing his beloved mother, a man risks everything to honor her by opening an Italian restaurant with actual grandmothers as the chefs. Who are the chefs?
That's what happened.
So, this is based on a true story. I was going to watch this movie when I saw the first preview. You were like, because you don't really like Vince Vaughn much.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is not my favorite.
But then I had you watch the real story. So CBS Mornings or whatever did a whole story on this last week.
Yep.
And I had you watch the real story.
Yep.
And that changed your mind.
It did, totally. We watched Vince Vaughn talk to the real guy. It's inspired by a true story. And I thought it was, that kind of changed things for me. And I was much more interested. So we did it.
Yeah. So let's see. This stars Vince Vaughn. Mm-hmm. And then everyone in the world. Linda Cardellini, Brenda Vaccaro, Lorraine Bracco, Talia Shire, Susan Sarandon, Drea De Matteo, and Joe Manganiello.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, lots of Italian things to say.
That was very Italian overload. Yeah.
So, I'm going to just get the little few, I was going to say the bad things out of the way.
Bad things?
Well, it was too long. Way too long.
Yeah, it was a little slow.
Very slow.
A little slow.
So they focus a lot on Joe as Vince Vaughn's character. They focus a lot on his struggle to open the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a little bit too much because, again, they embellished. They make it so they close and then they reopen and it's all happy. Again, the true story is good enough as it is. But I felt like it was too much of, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I didn't need that for that long.
Yeah, we know it's open and we know it's a success. So to have prolong the struggle that long, it was like, we know what happens. So let's get to it. We've seen enough of the struggle, but let's see 15 minutes more of it. So they did.
And and here's the other complaint I have. We have these grandmothers, so it's Talia Shire, Lorraine Bracco, Brenda Vaccaro, and Susan Sarandon. Mm-hmm. We got one good scene with them where the four of them are together and they're actually telling their life story, which they didn't even really. It was like they got a sentence to describe their life.
A couple sentences.
That bothered me too.
Yeah.
I wanted to really, really get to know these women and then really be able to see what a change cooking in this restaurant made on their lives. Now, you do get that. You get the sense of it and you're joyful for them and you're happy for them.
Yeah.
But again, from the real story, we just heard other things of women coming in mourning and they start cooking and they get their lives back and that sort of stuff. And I just wanted much more, I wanted more character to these four women that we're rooting for already. And of course we are. And maybe someone realized you don't really need that. But I just would have liked it because we were so focused on Joe the whole time, but I feel like these women really deserved more.
Yeah, we could have taken 15 minutes of struggle with Joe's and put it towards the Nonnas.
Absolutely.
Who the movie is named for.
Absolutely.
And develop their characters a little bit more. Because we did get their stories, but it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
It was, what little there was very emotional and very heartwarming and wrenching and all the things. But yeah, I could have done with more of that because, those are four classic actors.
Right. Absolutely.
Give them more screen time. We see Vince Vaughn and everything. So,
and it wasn't just that in my mind. It really was more, make me feel really connected to these women. Because again, as a non-Italian person, and there's so much, the movie focuses so much on being Italian, how the food brings everyone together and all that. And I understand that most ethnicities have that same thing. And that's why today in the restaurant, it's not just Italian Nonnas. They have Mexican abuelas, they have Greek yayas, they have, Nonnas from all over the world. Right. Coming in and cooking their food. And so I get that that's the case, but for some of us who that really wasn't the case, like I didn't have a family that, that had a cooking grandmother and all that sort of thing. I think I would have liked to have felt a little bit more cozy about where these women were coming from and that sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas they also spent a lot of time with them arguing. And again, in real life, I understand that was happening in the beginning too. But in the beginning, it was fine. But then they kind of carried it on, this little nagging thing.
It didn't need to go on as long as it did.
Yeah. Let's see. I would have liked to have seen way more food. And maybe that's coming from a fatty. But, going into this, I had this thought of right when we were sitting down, because we were both kind of grabbing our little snack for dinner as we were starting the movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I don't want to watch this without having eaten, because my thought was like when I went to go watch Julie and Julia, and I went and saw that by myself, and I came out of that thing so hungry and wanting so much food. And so I thought the same thing was going to happen here. They have some good shots of food.
They do.
But I wanted it to where I could taste it through the screen.
Well, there were plenty of parts where I thought I could.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I could, but I understand what you're saying, because there wasn't...
We're not close-ups.
There wasn't, again, take some of the Joe struggle.
Yeah.
And focus more on the actual food, because, the Nonnas and the food they were preparing, that was the story. Right. To me, that should have been the story, and the story was too much of Joe's struggle. And
again, I understand it is Joe's story. He started this thing. He's still running this restaurant after 15 years. So I get it, but it could have been bigger pieces of the pie tossed around in that way.
It was missed opportunities, I guess, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Now, overall, I still really like the story. I still went through, I think, 5 tissues. There's a lot of crying in this. There's a lot of tearing up. A lot of cries.
Especially towards the end.
Yes. Which I love. I have no problem with that. In the very beginning, I had the thought that Vince Vaughn was miscast. Because he looks old, man. He looks old for his age.
He got old fast.
He did.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there going, him and Joe are supposed to be best friends. And I'm in my head, I'm going, there's only 6 years difference with them. So... Man, but it looks like there's a 15-year difference. So at first that was freaking me out.
Joe Manganiello's routine is a little bit different than Vince Vaughn's.
Well, yeah, he lived a different life. But still, I just, I wasn't sure. And I know a lot of people have issues with Vince Vaughn. And look, I've whatever outside of acting, but when he needs to be in some tender moments, and he's had many in his movies. I buy it. I do buy it. And there's a lot of those in here where he's very vulnerable and it makes you go.
This is one of the few movies with him where I didn't feel he was overacting or he was too much.
Yes.
That's my big thing with him subdued. Is there's a lot of times where on screen he's so frenetic and he talks really fast.
Yeah.
He's just too much. He
wasn't happening.
He was good.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying about miscast and the apparent difference between him and Joe Manganiello, but I thought Vince did a really good job with this.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the whole cast together worked well, and I really liked seeing it. And it is a great story. So even though we're complaining it was too long and it wasn't enough of this, enough of that, I still recommend it. I think it's a good story to be heard, to be told. I think it's a great thing that Joe's been doing in real life, and people should go to Staten Island and go to the restaurant. I'm giving it a 7, knocking those points down because of everything that I've said. I'm probably not going to pick this one up to watch a million times because It's long and then it's very emotional. So it's not one of those that's going to pick me up.
Yeah,
but
that.
it's well done. I have no real complaints for a Netflix movie on a Friday night. You know, this was good. I laughed, I cried, and you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
All the things. All the things. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen a lot of movies lately I haven't liked because everything's been an 8. But I really like this, and honestly, I would love to watch interviews with just Brenda Vaccaro and Lorraine Bracco and Talia Shire. I mean, Susan Sarandon's okay, but those 3, man, the stories they could tell, and I would just love to see some interviews with those 3. I'd love to just sit and watch them talk.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
What things they must have, what stories they have to tell.
Well, Talia especially, it's crazy.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I really did.
I think it's a definite. I'm glad it's on Netflix. I think it's one of those that people over this weekend can really kind of just sink back and watch and enjoy it, and you won't have any complaints about that. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's just it's a feel good movie. It's family, missing family, choosing family to surround yourself with. It's all of that. And so, everyone I think can relate to some part that's going on in this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you can get past the sheep's head, you're golden.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Don't need that. All right. So that's Nonnas on Netflix. Thanks you guys so much. We have lots more reviews coming up.
I think so.
I think so too. So please subscribe if you could. That would really help our channel. Like this video. And comment below. Have you watched Nonnas? Have you been to the restaurant on Staten Island? Would love to hear from you about that too. And that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.